Welcome to the Marathon Trader. I started trading like many others, dreaming of a life where I could wake up whenever I wanted, walk into a cafe, open my laptop, place a few trades, earn a few dozen dollars, and then close the screen to go enjoy my day. It all looked like freedom and ease. But trading isn't like the movies. It's more like a battlefield inside your mind, where your enemy is invisible. No knives, no gun, just blinking numbers on a screen. And sharper than any weapon are your ego, your greed, and your fear. I used to analyze everything deeply. I'd spend hours drawing support and resistance zones, applying moving averages, RSI, Fibonacci, candlestick patterns. I studied like a scientist searching for the formula to success. But eventually, I realized the problem wasn't that I didn't know what to do. It was that I didn't do what I knew. I knew where to place stop losses. I knew how to take profit. I knew how to identify trends, but the moment I placed a trade, everything I knew vanished. My brain wasn't doing analysis anymore. It was drowning in emotion, fear of losing, greed to recover, and that whispering ego. This time will be different. I started overtrading, one position after another like a machine with no brakes. The longer I stayed in the market, the more I lost. But I didn't stop. I didn't realize I was destroying myself. Until one day, I opened my account and it was gone. Just a cold, hard zero. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just turned off the screen and sat silently in the dark, asking myself, where did I go wrong? The answer didn't come that night. It came slowly. Through sleepless nights, through rereading old trade journal, through reliving every wrong click and every broken rule. And when the answer finally arrived, it hit me hard. A good trader doesn't win because of analysis. A good trader survives. A surviving trader is someone who knows when to wait, waits until the market is clear, selects only quality setups, stops when the mind is chaotic, steps away when emotions are unstable, and most importantly, always knows what they're doing. I started again from zero, but this time, not with the excitement of a dreamer, with the calm of someone who's hit rock bottom. I no longer chase a 90% win rate. I don't hunt setups every hour. I learned patience, I learned discipline, I learned survival. And from that moment on, trading wasn't a game. It became a path, the path of survival. A path where you understand yourself before trying to understand the market. I once met a man 10 years older than me during a small market meetup. No flashy seminars, just a few chairs and black coffee. He didn't speak much, but when he did, the room went silent. Not because he was a guru, but because he said what we had all felt but couldn't put into words. I'll never forget his first line. Everyone can analyze, but surviving after you're wrong, that's what matters. He told me how he once felt invincible, growing his account 3 times in a few weeks. He thought he'd cracked the market's code. Then one night, he blew nearly all of it on a gold short without a stop loss. He believed it would turn. So much so, he deposited more to average down. But the market doesn't care about feelings. It kept going like a silent storm and wiped everything out. What scared him most wasn't the loss. It was losing himself afterward. He couldn't look at charts for a month. He couldn't even read headlines. Every price alert made his heart race and hands shake. And he said, I realized it wasn't analysis or knowledge that could save me. It was awareness. It was staying sane. It was choosing to survive. I sat there, silent. I understood what he meant. Trading isn't like other professions. It doesn't forgive emotional breakdowns. You can't be mentally unstable and expect your account to survive. You can't overtrade and expect to breathe. You can't skip stop losses and pray the market shows mercy. And the cruelest part, it's you who did it to yourself. I used to think the best traders were the best analysts, but after years and scars, I've learned the best traders are the ones who are still here after hundreds of analysts have disappeared. Not because they knew more, but because they stayed in control when everything went wrong. I remember once losing 5 trades in a row. Not big losses, but all wrong. I was ready to go all in to win it back. My finger hovered over the button, my heart pounding. Then I remembered what that old trader told me. Whenever you want to win it back, that's when you're trading with emotion, not strategy. And trading has no mercy for emotion. So I didn't press it. I shut down my screen. I stepped out. I took a deep breath. For the first time, I did what I needed to do, not what I wanted to do. And you know what? I didn't win big after that, but I didn't lose more. I kept my capital. I stayed in the game. I survived. That was the first time I truly understood. Analysis won't save you. Survival will. Discipline does that. Clarity does that. A stable mind does that. Great traders don't win because they predict the right trend. They win because they don't let themselves drown when the market turns against them. They win because they know when to walk away from the screen before their heart gets crushed again. And I learned how to survive from them little by little, mistake by mistake, each lesson paid for by my own account balance. I'm not fast, but I'm still here, still standing, still able to tell you this story. That alone is the biggest win no chart will ever show. If you're still here listening, and if any of this has touched something inside you, don't forget to hit like, so we can spread this truth together. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Help them not lose years to the same lesson. Thank you for being here. There's a painful truth I took years to accept. The biggest enemy in trading is not the market, it's yourself. I'm not saying this to sound philosophical. I'm saying this because I was that enemy. I was the one who sabotaged my own account. I believed that if I just read the indicator correctly, analyzed deep enough, stayed up to date with the news, I'd make it. But I was wrong. The charts didn't kill me. Wrong analysis didn't kill me. My emotions did. Slowly, quietly, they showed up like an old friend, whispering, place just one more trade just to be safe. See, if you had placed a bigger lot, you would have hit a huge profit. This one will definitely go your way. And I listened. I overtraded. I increased lot sizes while in a drawdown to make it back faster. I removed my stop loss thinking it'll reverse, just give it time. I stayed up 3 nights straight watching the price, waiting for an entry that never came. I skipped days, I lost sleep, I looked at my reflection and didn't recognize the person staring back. All because of one click made at the wrong moment. No one forced me, no one punished me. It was me, the one responsible, the one who did it to myself. One day, I'd had enough. I opened my trade history, scrolled in silence. Not angry at the market anymore, just sad. Sad to see my past self, someone who only wanted to win, never learning how to survive. I remember the words of a veteran trader who had survived 20 years in this business. Winning and losing is normal, but if your mind fails, your account will follow. So I asked myself, what do I really want from trading? Is it money? If it's just money, there are easier jobs with freedom. Is it freedom? Then why am I enslaved by every red and green candle? Is it to prove something? Then to whom am I proving it? That's when I realized I wasn't trying to beat the market. I was trying to master myself. I had gone too far down the rabbit hole of trying to be right that I forgot the most important truth. No one is always right. Only those who can manage their mistakes survive. So I started shrinking, trading less, accepting stop loss as part of the process, not hurting when my profit was small, just grateful I was no longer forcing the market to obey me. I finally understood, trading is not a numbers game, it's a mind game. You can have the best strategy, but without discipline, it's a double-edged sword. You can win 10 trades, but if you lose control on the 11th, you could lose it all. And when you lose because of yourself, that pain cuts deeper than any failed analysis. It shatters your confidence. And when that's gone, even if the market opened 1,000 opportunities, you won't be able to click again with a clear mind. I've stood on that edge where I had to choose, keep self-destructing or come back to life. I chose to live again, not gloriously, not like a hero, just quietly. Each morning I open my chart, look at the same XAU-USD pair, and take a deep breath. I whisper to myself, I don't need to win today. I just need not to lose to myself. I do that every day, like a small ritual. A reminder that trading is not about conquering the market. It's about outlasting yourself. Those who do that, they are the last ones standing. Some of the days I grew the most were the days I didn't trade. In the past, I feared those days, when there were no clear setups, when the market was flat, when things felt still while others were making money or losing big. I used to open charts every morning like an addict. Even when I saw no solid setups, I still placed trades. Why? Because I couldn't stand being on the sidelines. I believe every opportunity was gold, that missing one meant missing everything. But now I see that my biggest growth came from the days I chose not to enter the market, because in that silence I faced myself, the craving, the need to act, the urge to be in control. That's when I realized I was addicted not to trading itself, but to the illusion of control it gave me. Trading made me believe that if I got the direction right, I could dominate the market. So when I stood outside, I felt small, powerless, irrelevant. That feeling used to torment me. But over time, I learned to accept it. I learned to look at the market without needing to act, to observe, not to profit, but to listen. Listen to the rhythm of the market, and more importantly, listen to myself. One morning, gold went sideways the entire session. I stared at the screen for 3 hours and didn't take a single trade. I used to think that was a wasted day, but now I know that was a silent victory. Not because I predicted the market, but because I didn't force it to give me something it had no intention of giving. I started journaling more seriously, even the days I didn't trade. I wrote why I stayed out, how I felt, what I was tempted to do but didn't. At first, I felt nervous, then regret, but eventually, peace. And I realized that not trading is also a trade, because it's a decision, and every decision matters. The market doesn't always hand out chances, and I don't need to be in every fight. I only need to show up when I'm ready, and the market is too. Like a soldier who doesn't unsheath his sword at every sound, but waits until the moment is right. I remember skipping a setup because it wasn't clear enough. Right after that, price surged in the direction I originally expected. The wave of regret hit me hard. I almost chased the move just to prove I was right. But I paused. I asked myself, am I entering this trade because I see a true opportunity or because I need to be right? The answer was obvious. I stayed out. That trade might have won, but I grew a little that day because I chose the harder path, doing nothing. In trading, sometimes maturity isn't about winning a trade. It's about choosing to walk away. Walking away when your emotions rise. Walking away when you're not clear-headed. Walking away when the market isn't clear. Walking away so you can survive. I learned to respect the stillness, not because I fear action, but because I now understand the value of knowing when not to act. On days I don't trade, I no longer feel useless. I feel grounded, and that grounding is what lets me stay in this game long term. Survival is a gift, and the only way. There was a time I thought trading was my path to wealth. Let's be honest, who entered the market without wanting to make money? But after many losses, I realized the winner isn't the best analyst, it's not the one with the flashiest charts or the most advanced indicators, it's the one who survives. And survival is no accident. It's the result of patience, of doing the same boring but essential things every single day. Checking news, reviewing your journal, asking yourself, is my mind calm enough to trade today? And some days, the answer is no. And that's when I shut down the screen. That's not weakness, that's strength. Strength of someone who's learned to protect themselves. A good trader, after all, isn't the one who's always right. It's the one who knows when they're wrong and knows when to stop. I used to overtrade like crazy. Lose a trade, enter again, win a trade, want more, always chasing, until I lost everything. Once, I watched my balance drop to a few dollars. My heart went numb. I sat silently for an hour, didn't even open a chart. But instead of quitting, I opened my journal and I wrote, "Today, I let emotion control me, but I'm still here and I will come back." That was the moment I knew I'd continue, but as a different person. Traders aren't trained to win. We must train ourselves not to self-destruct. Only after falling do we truly begin to understand this market. Not because we predict it better, but because we know when to protect our capital and when to let go of our ego. I no longer need explosive gains to feel satisfied. If each day I can avoid impulsive trades, ignore emotional triggers, and stop trying to prove anything. If I can just stay alive and keep a clear head, that's enough. To anyone starting out or struggling with early losses, remember, you don't need to win fast. You just need to not fall too soon. Trading isn't a fantasy of getting rich. It's a journey through your own mind, a mirror that forces you to see who you really are. Each trade is a choice. And if you choose right, not based on price but on principle, you've already won. Mental victories are the only real ones. Thank you for staying with me to the very end. If you saw yourself in this story, then we're the same. We're all learning how to survive in this tempting and unforgiving world. So stay tuned for more untold stories about pain, lesson, and how ordinary people can go far if they just know how to stay whole. Because sometimes the best trader isn't the one who wins the most, but the one who stopped losing.